everybody, and welcome to The World This Week. No chance to find more survivors, Nepal authorities say, as death toll rises. 6 Baltimore police officers charged in the death of Freddie Gray. Clashes erupt in U.S. West Coast cities during May Day marches. And Britain's Duchess Kate gives birth to daughter, both well. These are some of the issues we'll touch upon this Sunday. And I'm joined by Barbara Opall-Rome, Defense News Bureau Chief in Israel. Hi, Barbara.
Hello.
And Alon Pinkas, former advisor to Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak, and a man of many, many important activities. Thank you for joining us again.
Thank you.
And first of all, congratulations.
The 2nd of May, in the year 2015, we welcome with humble duty the second born of their Royal Highnesses, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. The Princess is fourth in line to the throne. May our Princess be long-lived, happy and glorious, and one day long to reign over us. God save the Queen!
Okay, people love that, especially the Brits. Barbara, is this, now they're arguing, is this a political baby?
It's wonderful to have good news. We certainly need it with all that's going around in the world, and we all wish, I'm sure, the royal couple years of happiness.
Yes, of course.
This guy goes home and his wife asks him, "How was your day, honey?" Well, what does he say? What does he say?
I had a baby. But we're in the middle of a campaign in the United Kingdom, of course, and according to many predictions, it's going to be a deadlock, much like Israeli politics in a way. Maybe we'll mention that in a second. Is this where we're going to?
It looks that way. I can only base it on the polls, and the polls show that neither the Tories, the Conservatives, nor Labour will be able to form a government without a coalition. And in fact, you're going to see a so-called a hung parliament, a deadlocked parliament out of the 659 members or delegates in the British Parliament. A lot of it has to do with the emergence of the Scottish National Party. Some of it has to do with UKIP, and some of it obviously has to do with the Liberal Democrats. But the era of either Labour or the Tories forming a government, I think, is closely coming to an end.
And that's, Barbara, going to have an impact all over the place with the relations with the United States, possibly with Israel, possibly in the Middle East.
Well, don't forget that even before this, there seemed to be dysfunction and deadlock in the UK. We all remember what happened with Syria and how the Parliament almost disgraced the government by voting down some type of military intervention. So it will be even more likely that there'll be inaction and disarray in the government to come.
There was also a lot of criticism in the last week. I don't know if it's criticism, just observations from the British media of the conspicuous absence of any foreign policy debate throughout this campaign. And we all know that Britain is no longer a world actor, but it is a permanent member of the UN Security Council, and it is a close ally of the US. And it does have independent foreign policy ideas and policies vis-a-vis the European Union, which is half member, half not, certainly not the monetary union. But it looks as if neither Cameron nor Ed Miliband, who may win the elections, is going to have a major say on foreign policy. So I agree with Barbara.
Much like in Israel, where also we are like a couple of days before Netanyahu has his deadline revoked to form a coalition, and he has a lot of difficulties.
Absolutely. I'm focusing, Alon can provide the intricacies, I'm focusing on defense and strategic relations. This in my mind, the important thing is that Moshe Ya'alon will remain defense minister. I think it's a wise choice. Continuity is needed at this point. I would say, though, that because of the toxic relations at the top between Prime Minister Netanyahu and Obama, that he should start delegating. He's basically shutting out the defense ministry.
But delegating to whom,
delegating to the National Security Council and to the MOD to have the professionals.
This is the defense minister who called the U.S. Secretary of
And
State
you know
a
what?
delusional
And
messiah.
isn't it, when taken in context, this defense minister seems reasonable given all the
Alternatives?
acrimony that has taken place at the top,
The
at the
short
very
answer
top.
is no, but we could discuss this.
You have probably a right-wing government in Israel forming,
Definitely.
probably, even though it's not final yet. You have the Iranian issue coming up.
Right.
Where are we on that, by the way?
Well, talks are scheduled to resume this week. The idea is to complete a deal by the 30th of June, after which it'll be submitted to Congress, to the Senate effectively, for a 30-day review. By the way, the law stipulates that the 30-day review only holds if an agreement is submitted to the Senate by the 9th of June. Any day beyond that, the review is extended to 60 days, which complicates everyone's life immeasurably.
Barbara, a right-wing government as it is in Israel will be more likely to press for military action towards Iran?
Under Bibi Netanyahu, they might press for it, but I find it very hard to imagine that he'll actually take a decision. When his defense minister was Ehud Barak, and Ehud Barak, as Alon well knows, does know how to take decisions, whether rightly or wrongly, but there was a window there when there was a very real possibility of Israel exercising its military option. I cannot conceive, given the international situation and the internal situation in Israel, of this military option being viable.
Barbara and Alon, it was a pleasure to see you here again. Thank you.
Pleasure.